Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well and prepared for the video where we speak about a lot of topics. You know, it is Saturday, Juventus is not playing, my heart is crying. My heart is crying a lot, not only because Juventus is not playing, but this time also because we saw the minus 254 million loss of Juventus. Not only my heart is crying, but also the book's financial part of Juventus is crying. So today it will be also a longer video where we will go into details about the 254 million euro. That is a negative record for an Italian club in Serie A. Is it as dramatic as it seems, or is there a light at the end of the tunnel? We'll explain that, but also the sporting part, because Allegri received the trust. I know that some of you are not happy with that decision. I know that yesterday people were expecting Allegri to be dismissed after that board of directors meeting. And no, guys, I told you it will not happen in that meeting. Maybe in the future, maybe in 1 game, 3 games, 5 games, maybe at the end of the season. Not now. Also, yesterday I started watching and reading everywhere on YouTube, on Twitter, on social media, Nedved Out. Big titles, big clickbait titles, because they were spreading the rumor that yesterday Nedved would enter that room in that meeting and saying, I give up, I go away, I'm not agreeing what you are saying. I saw already some people saying, thank you Nedved for everything you did for Juve, and so on and so on. Calma, calma. Will it happen next week? Maybe. At the moment, no. So let's speak about the facts, financial part, the problems, and also how we will try to do better, and then also the sporting part, because Allegri receives the trust. He will have to find some solutions to get us out of that situation now, immediately. Maybe with an invention, un'allegrata, an invention like he did in the past with the 4-2-3-1, Mandzukic on the left. Did he do it more than one time? We'll go towards that in the second part of the video. Maximum of like, subscribe to the video and the channel, of course. And of course, we go immediately with opening Corriere dello Sport. Do we want to spend some time to a paper, Corriere dello Sport, or should I say Corriere dello Gossip, that is spending time to speak about the split between Icardi and Vandanara instead of speaking about the most important sporting event of yesterday, Roger Federer's last game. I'm not a big fan of tennis, but if you are calling yourself paper of sport, give me at least one line, not even a picture, at least one line that Roger was his last game. No, they prefer speaking about gossip, Icardi and Vanda. It is over. So I don't spend any time on that paper. We go to Tuttosport. Tu sei leggenda, you are a legend. Speaking and putting Roger Federer in the center of the paper, and then speaking about Italy that won 1-0 yesterday with a goal of Raspadori after an assist of Bonucci. They are speaking about Juve. Of course they are speaking about Juve. The board of directors meeting, their solution, they have a solution, paying the managers with stocks instead of cash money. Why? Because everyone has to go into the same direction, saving Juventus financially and sporting-wise. Then they are speaking about Inter with the Curva supporters that are against Zhang out. Also, other supporters are using the out hashtag, but then they wanted to give the words to some supporters that are not that much on social network, but that they have their own reality. They are going to the stadium and they explain, because they are saying it's yes the fault of Allegri, but not only. We'll go to art in the really end of that video. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Italy. An Italy that people love. They won 1-0 yesterday. We already spoke about it. But then they're speaking about Re Federer, the King Federer, and also Maignan. Maignan that will miss probably Juventus because of injury. Is he the only one? No. What is the link with Juve? We will speak about that and you will probably found it really funny. I told you that I miss Serie A. I really miss Serie A. And what I'm doing sometimes is opening my wallet by OneFootball, because no one is getting you closer than Serie A than OneFootball. I open my wallet and I try to relive the beautiful epic moments of this season, thanks to digital video moments that I own. I did it, guys. You can do it as well. It's really easy. The link is into the description. You open your wallet and then you try to collect these digital video moments on OneFootball. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Do it. Link in the description. And now we go with the financial part of Juve. There are two ways of speaking about it. The one of Gazzetta dello Sport, the one of Tuttosport. Tuttosport that is opening with, yes, we have hit a historic bottom, because it's the biggest negative result, minus 254 million. Why is that? Explaining why. Well, because of COVID, but not only. COVID is not the only excuse. Also because of own mistakes of Juve. We already spoke about it. I don't know if you remember. We already said it, that we did own mistakes. So don't write in the comment section, don't use COVID as an excuse. No. COVID is one problem, and then our own mistakes. But that's not over. We have to think about the future, because the plan 23-25, so the 3-year plan, has been approved, and you will see what they are saying about that, because we have to get better. We have to do better. And did we already start doing better? Yes. It's not visible today, but it is. Gazzetta dello Sport, of course, is going with a bit more sensational titles, putting in red that we lost 554 million. Where is that number coming from? Well, they are saying in the last 3 years. They are not speaking about now. They are going with everything. Then in black, a bit smaller, they are saying the club is solid. Now we have to cut the cost. Nice. If a not really Juventus-friendly paper is speaking about Juventus a solid club, means that something is correct. It means that something is correct in the way of working of Juventus. I know the minus 254 million is a shock for certain people. Not for the one that are following the channel. Not for the one that were reading that interview in Tuttosport from the 30th of June 2022. The date that the books were closed. Because Arrivabene spoke about everything. About the Ligt, about Pogba, about the way of working, about the relation. He spoke about so many things, but at a certain moment he also spoke about finances already there back then. And he said, attenzione guys, the books that will be closed, that are actually closing on the 30th of June 2022, that will be presented end of September, hey, they will hurt a lot. They will hurt a lot, because we don't have a magic wand to change the things from one day to the other. We are in a situation of crisis. COVID didn't help at all. With less revenues in terms of stadium, we had to close the stadium, but also a lot of less supporters for X, Y, Z reason. Museum was not being open. We couldn't use all these facilities. We continued to pay the salaries of the players. Some were postponed. For example, Douglas Costa. Because you tell me, Beppe, what about Douglas Costa? He's already not in the club since 3 years. Well, the salary of a part of the salary of Douglas Costa, we have to take it into consideration in the books that we just closed. Why? Because due to COVID, we had to postpone some salaries. Guys, it is what it is. Disaster situation. Yes, but he said it. The one that we will read will be actually made by tears and by blood. It is true. We know it. We can't solve it in one moment. We made mistakes. He said, I don't want to criticize the past, but we made a lot of mistakes. Do we have to repeat them? We all know them. We all know them. €0 players that we overspent in terms of salary. Players that we bought that were absolutely not Juve material. And so on, and so on, and so on. But we already see some things that are going better for the future. This was what he was saying. If you want to, we have the long video where I explained every single word. So if you are looking at the sheet that is actually recapping the numbers, yes, it's true that we are losing 254 million euro. It's worse than last year. It's 21% worse than last year. But then you see two other lines at the bottom. Super important, really important. We see the net worth of Juventus, that is 170 million euro. That last year was only not even 30 million, 28 million. So it's an increase of nearly 500% net worth from the club. And then you see the beautiful thing that our debt toward the banks from 390 million euro debts is now less than half. It's at 150 million euro, minus 60%. So it's actually a really great thing, because our debts toward the banks are really lower now. Not yet what we want to, but already better. So Vito, French supporter of Juventus, that is in a finance, he was explaining it with a few words. Let me read it so that you have a beautiful recap before going towards something else. The club's financial cushion remains quite comfortable, 169 million euro. Net debt is under tight control and bank credit lines remain available. An economic situation that seems much more reassuring than that produced on the field. Speaking about field, yes, we have to do better on the field. Absolutely. If you're looking at the approval of the books, yes, they also give some targets for the 3 next consecutive years. The plan, what do we have to do? Well, medium, long term, economic and financial balance, not only, but the most important line, what we supporters care about, is maintaining sport competitivity. Super important. You have to be competitive. Regarding an average of your history, you have to be there. What is the average historical result of Juve? It's there, being on the top, and this is what the club wants. Guys, how will we do it? Now, in a really short term, it's with Allegri. Un'allegrata in arrivo. The genius idea, the genius change of Allegri is expected. This is what everyone is expecting. Will it happen or not? We don't know, but that's what we are expecting if we are looking at the history of Allegri. Do you remember all these changes that he did? Hey guys, you remember the 4-2-3-1 with Vidal being that number 10 trequartista? It happened versus Olympiacos, where it was a game that we had to win in Champions League, and we did. It was in 2014, November. Then in 2015, he went back to a BBC to give a bit of stability with Dybala and Mandzukic on top to win that game versus Milan. In 2017, he invented that 4-2-3-1 with Mandzukic being there on the left side of the field. It was actually in the second half where we saw the four guys on the papers. It was Mandzukic, Dybala, Cuadrado, Higuain. He didn't stop there, because in the same years, a few months later, or actually the same year, but another season, he changed with that 4-2-3-1 with, for the first time, Cuadrado as a right back. He was the one that did it in 2017. So he already showed so many times that he can do it. Now, maybe going back to a three-man defense, it's possible, like Italy played yesterday with a Bonucci that played really, really well. We want to see a Bonucci performing like he did yesterday with Italy. Guys, if we go back to other Allegrata, other genius strategy, well, remember when he said last week that if you take away from Inter or from Milan 5 starting players, they would have been in difficulties. Well, unfortunately for Milan, Tonali, Maignan, Kier, Theo Hernandez, they are all out. Will they miss all of them? Juventus, maybe yes, maybe no. Let's see what will happen. Guys, again, I wish nobody injuries, but now we will see if they have all these players out, what will be the result of Milan that was already losing without Leao the game versus Napoli. The last one, guys, the last one is about Allegri out. Non è l'unico colpevole. Allegri out, no, it's not the only one that is at fault. These are the words of 12 different supporters, because Tuttosport, they wanted to launch an initiative. They said, we see so many crazy things on social media, because you don't have a lot of space, you don't have a lot of character, you need to be out of the mass with so many millions that are speaking about football. Then you go with harsh statements that a lot of people, when you are at home and you are reading them, you say these things are the reality, these things are the truth. No, Tuttosport took the initiative to speak to people from real life without being actually behind a screen, without being anonymous, really putting the face and speaking about the problems of Juve. And we saw a lot of people speaking about the moment of Juve. For example, there is a supporter, Raffaele, that is saying, hey, Allegri, it's not now that he had to be dismissed. He had to be dismissed after Cardiff, immediately. That was the right moment to stop, after the loss of Cardiff final. Do you remember? Final Juve versus Real Madrid. Someone else is saying, I don't understand why Napoli is able to find Kvaratskhelia and we are putting everything on Di Maria. Give us the answers. Other people are saying, in the last year, we saw so many investments in terms of money, but we never saw the results. Other people are saying, wait, it's too early. We don't have to sack people now. We don't have to speak now. We have to speak at the end of the season. And then you see, we are running only for 20 minutes. I need to understand. But attenzione, because also here we have to take into account the injuries of the players. And then, and so on. So real objective comments about the supporters. I love to see it. It gave me a bit of hope, I have to admit. Guys, it was a long video. I don't know what you thought about it. Financial part, we can discuss it in a live, all the impacts and so on. I had to go a bit fast today. Spoke about the sporting side with Allegri. Will he be able to change? Yes or no? I forgot probably a lot of things, so I don't know. We will see each other live. Don't forget, subscribe, maximum of like. We go. Grazie, forza, Juve.